Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's good. I can also hear you. Okay. So, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Masha. Where will this go up? Where will this interview be seen? What's it for?
So it is for my YouTube channel. I sent you the link
Oh,
on
okay. Oh, I
Instagram.
didn't
Yeah,
see it.
so that's for my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're ready, we can start.
Yeah, sure. Let's
Hello,
do it.
dear viewers. Today, my guest is an incredible British musician known for his work with different artists and bands such as Pink Floyd, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Roxy Music, and others. Guy Pratt. Hello, Guy.
Hello, Masha.
I know that you don't remember how you started playing bass, but maybe you could tell why of all instruments you chose it and what was your childhood like?
My childhood was well, my childhood was very nice, up and very secure and perfectly happy in London. And then I went to boarding school. But no, I can remember I started playing the bass. I started playing the bass because I fell in love with sort of music, with rock and roll, with The Who, basically. And I wanted an electric guitar. And I pleaded with my parents to buy me an electric guitar, and they said no. They said, why don't you get a nice acoustic guitar? And I was like, acoustic? It's not that. It's the electric bit I wanted. So I thought I'll ask for a bass because they wouldn't get me a double bass because it's too big. Wouldn't fit in my bedroom, frankly. Um, and so that I got a bass guitar, and that was it. And I didn't really know what it was, and it wasn't actually that exciting when I got it, but I'm glad I stuck with it because when I got back to because this was in the Christmas holidays, when I got back to school, there were a couple of other kids who had got electric guitars,
Mm,
but of course, if they wanted to be a band, they needed me.
yeah,
So so I had my pick.
yeah. I think like everyone mostly chooses electric guitar, so bass is kind of underrated, even though it is also important in the song. So yeah, you play it.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, you don't stand at the front, you don't get the solos, and to be honest, certainly back then, it used to be a lot of songs you couldn't. Um, you couldn't necessarily hear the bass. You couldn't tell what it was. I know for years, things like, I'd be playing things to my mum and just thinking, does she actually know what bit I'm playing on that?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Your career took off when you were asked to join the Australian band Icehouse for a world tour at the young age of 19. Could you recall that period of time and how did you feel?
I felt amazing. It's quite funny this because I've realised through going back, this is actually a bit of creative accounting in terms of age. I wasn't 19, I was 20.
Oh,
No, no, it's not your fault. It said that. And for years I've said that. I said, yeah, it's amazing. I was only 19. It's incredible. And then it's quite funny. And then I was just doing the sums. I was thinking, hang on, seemed to be an awful lot happened when I was 19. So how can I have done that and done that? And then I realized, of course, well, it's 1982. I was 20 in 1982. That's why. And I had my whole early 80s kind of out by a year for a bit. 20 is still pretty young to be going to Australia. Anyway,
yeah.
so it was amazing because I literally went from, I had a few gigs. I mean, I'd had two sort of proper professional. I'd been in a band. I'd done loads of playing with various people. The two sort of professional gigs I'd had was I played for a guy called Sylvain, who was one of the New York Dolls, who were like this sort of American glam, and that they were kind of one of the groups that all the punk groups all look back to the New York Dolls and say, and in fact they were managed for a short while by Malcolm McLaren, who the Sex Pistols manager. So so that gives me the fact I played for him gives me this punk credibility for the rest of my life. I also played for a band called Funkapolitan, who were the sort of first band. There was kind of a multiracial West London band, bunch of very cool guys who had. Yeah, they opened the first rap club, a couple of them, and it was quite funny. I just got the job because the bass player was a friend of mine, a guy called Tom Dixon, who because he fell off his motorbike, and he went on to be a great legendary furniture designer and light designer and everything that a lot of people have heard of. So anyway, so yeah, so then this Ice House thing, It was literally going to, I mean, no one had ever heard of Icehouse in Australia. And back then, you wouldn't understand now. You youngsters, when the world is so interconnected. I mean, back then, the other side of the world really was the other side of the world, you know.
Yeah.
Phone calls were incredibly expensive and it was 12 out, 9 hours out. You couldn't really talk to anyone. And I used to have to write letters home, you know, to
Yeah.
my mum and my girlfriends and everything. Um, and it was fantastic.
You had a girlfriend back then and you traveled to Australia.
Yeah, I know. What a bastard, eh?
Yeah. No, but still, that's interesting. You joined Pink Floyd as bassist in 1987. Did you
Mhm.
understand back then that you had become a member of a cult group, and how would you explain the enormous success it received, including in the USSR?
Oh, that's quite helpful. I didn't join Pink Floyd. That's something I should point out. I've never been a member of Pink Floyd. I have, in fact, I've actually only been a member of Pink Floyd for one day, and that was April the 30th, 2022, which was the day that we recorded "Hey Hey, Rise Up,"
So,
the record for Ukraine, because that was we announced the lineup of Pink Floyd on that record was David Gilmour, Nick Mason, myself, and Nitin Sawhney. So that is the only time I've ever actually been a member of Pink Floyd. I play bass for Pink Floyd.
okay.
Just yeah, and uh, 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 I mean, yeah, I knew it was a huge thing. I'd seen Pink Floyd before. I went to see them performing The Wall at Earl's Court back in 1980 and in 1981. And I say it was and remains the best gig I've ever been to. So, and I at the time, you know, I remember saying, I mean, there's no way you thought, oh my God, next time they go out, I'm going to be up there. And so, yeah, it was absolutely mind blowing, totally mind blowing to get that gig. And I kind of, all that stuff people say about youth being wasted on the young is so true. I really, really wish I'd been a bit more present at the time and just kind of been aware and kind of taken in what I was doing, you know, rather than just going, "Yay, this is it, I'm a party," you know, and it's but of course, you know, it's just what you do when you're young. But because it was an incredible thing. I just kind of wish I'd kind of been, like I said, I'd maybe taken it a bit more seriously. No, I did take it serious. That's the wrong thing to say. I took it incredibly seriously, but I mean, just I wish I'd thought about the being more into just the musical and cultural implications than the thing of being in the biggest
Yeah.
along for the ride with the biggest band in the world.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a bit
No, no,
cumbersome.
that's totally fine. No
Yeah.
problem. After one of the Floyd shows, which Patrick Leonard has visited, he has offered you to come play for Madonna Records. What was
Yes.
it like working with Madonna, and was there a situation where she opened up to you from a different perspective of
Oh,
which you thought about her initially?
oh, very interesting questions. That's right. Yeah, but it was amazing going to play with Madonna. It's quite, and yes, there was a time. I mean, yeah, there's a joke I do, which is, you know, she used to brighten up every day in the studio with her charming little catchphrase, "Time is money, and the money is mine." But uh, she was, but and yes, there was one time when she opened up to me, which was she invited everyone out. She invited the band out to go and see George Michael playing at the LA Sports Arena one night. And no one, I was the only person who said yes. So she came and picked me up in her limo. And we went out, we went to this gig. We walked in arm in arm. Not one single bloody photographer. Uh,
Yeah, where was I?
I know, I'm literally going, guys, come on.
No, that would be epic. Okay,
Oh man, that was, yeah, exactly. And because I didn't have a girlfriend at that point,
okay.
so that would have been perfect. um, and but yeah, but it was in the limo with her. I remember she hadn't been living in LA for all that long, and I said to her, "You strike me as how do you find living in LA? Because you strike me as such a New York kind of girl. Because she's so instant in your face, and that great New York energy, which is fantastic." And she said, "I hate it. I hate being in LA, but I can't, I can't go to I can't live in New York because all my friends are dead." And it was just the most. heartbreaking thing. And of course, it was because of this was in the height of the AIDS, epidemic, and of course, most of her friends were from the dance world, and all that, and it was so that was really, really touching and sad.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for sharing. But about that
No, you don't.
story which you told with
Yes.
paparazzi, really sad. Like, where were they? Like,
I
it
know.
would be
Do you know
completely
what?
another story.
That's true. What is interesting is back then is how the world was. Maybe it was just, I'm sure other people did, but back then, before Instagram or everything like that, all the people I worked with, I never had pictures taken with them. There was this thing that it wasn't really cool. You didn't take a camera into the studio. You didn't. So I've got very unless there was actually a photographer in there. On the whole, you didn't take pictures in the studio. So I haven't got a single picture of me with Madonna. I haven't got a picture of me with Robbie Robertson. Um, um, I haven't got a picture of me standing in front of the mixing desk that Michael Jackson was hiding behind.
Yeah, we are going to talk about it also. Yeah.
But yeah, and it was really funny. It just wasn't really cool to take pictures in the studio, and I just thought it was kind of lame to take pictures with artists I was working with, and I really wish I'd done, I had.
No, but that's actually interesting how time has changed because right now I think like even with paparazzis, they are everywhere. Like most celebrities they don't have their personal private time, so they go outside and they follow them. So that's why like I don't know,
Well,
maybe
no, but it's not even the paparazzi; it's the culture. We're our own paparazzi now.
yeah, yeah.
If I go out, if I go, hey, I saw my mate Bill. Hey, here I am with Jan. Here I am with and she's going, hey, I saw Guy. Hey, and we're all putting it on Instagram. We're our own paparazzi.
Yeah, that but it serves like an evidence, because everyone can say, "Oh, like I met this person and that person," but like when you show a photo, this is an evidence. But like back then, like you said, it was lame like for you to take
Yeah, I
pictures
thought it
with
was. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because but and like, but I really regret it.
no, but still you worked with them, you created great music, so I think it
Oh,
is
thank you,
way better than just a
thank you.
picture. After hearing Like a Prayer, you got an offer to work with Michael Jackson on a song because he liked the sound in that
Yeah.
Madonna song and wanted something similar. But even though
Yes.
you did a session and it ended up being on Michael Jackson's album, you have never met him. Didn't you
No.
try to meet Michael Jackson in person? And how was the process of making music with him like when he wasn't there or was there but was hiding, as you said?
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I've given away the punchline. Um,
No, that's fine.
what it was, I was invited to yeah, I was asked to go down and play on this record, and I had no idea what to do. And Michael wasn't there. It was with Bill Bottrell, the amazing producer, who was the engineer on the Madonna record, but he was producing Michael Jackson. He'd invite me down. And so I just put some stuff down on this song, and he said, "Okay, I'll play it to Michael, see what he says. Obviously he gets the final say." And then come on, he called me up and said, "Okay, Michael's here. Come back and have another run at it." So I go back. This is a couple of days later, and Michael's just left. And this kept happening. It happened about 2 or 3 times. So every time, might come down, Michael's here, and I get there, and it's like Michael's just left. Till eventually, until the last time, Michael called. I was going, "God's sake, Bill, this is ridiculous, man. Could he just be here?" And say, and yeah, I'm sorry, man, but hey, it's Michael does as Michael does, and eventually I get this call, Guy, get down here. Michael's in the studio. He's not leaving. Quick. So I run down the studio, get in, and Michael's just left. But it's very different in the studio. There's this new engineer, right? And I say engineer, but in inverted commas, because there was this giant kind of Samoan bloke who looked like he'd be more suited at being a bodyguard, perhaps, or something like that. And he's standing down one end of the mixing desk, and he won't let me get down there. It's really weird. I don't know why I would be going down there anyway. Maybe to get an ashtray, because it's back when you could smoke in recording studios, and everyone smoked. Um,
Oh.
yeah, and I remember I just played something, and then this guy at the end sort of leant over, and then he came back up and he said, "I think Michael would find that appropriate." So, oh, this is odd, isn't it? there's this bloke who kind of can barely speak English, but he has a absolutely intrinsic understanding of what Michael would require from a bass performance. And and I suddenly realized, hang on, it wasn't that guy that he was talking to. Someone was talking to him. There was someone underneath the mixing desk telling this guy what to tell me. And I suddenly realized it was like someone's hiding. And I realized, oh my God, it's Michael. It's Michael Jackson. He's hiding behind the mixing desk. And there's nothing you could do about it. I mean, I can't, what was I going to do? Go and surprise him? We all just had to go along with this thing. Um, and so, yeah, so I have been in the room with Michael Jackson. So I've actually performed for Michael Jackson, but never met him.
No, but that's crazy because I saw one of your interviews, so this is where I got this information.
Yeah.
But like, it's crazy. You are playing, and then someone is like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I think that is good."
Yeah.
Like I would say, "Oh my God, where is Michael? Where are you? Where are you hiding?" But you also said that,
Right, because there were too many other people. The fact that there's too many other people in the room. There's Bill, there's another engineer, there's probably an assistant, and they obviously all know he's there. So I can't then embarrass all of them. I can't suddenly go, "Hey guys, come on, wait, what are we doing here?"
but you also said in that interview that Michael Jackson was known for hiding.
He
Do
was, yes.
do you know also? Do you have also another musician colleagues or friends who had this similar situation while working with
Uh,
him?
well, yeah, the one I heard was there's a few of them, but the one I heard was Nile Rodgers. Nile Rodgers got invited out to this back when he had this big ranch in was it Neverland? It was Encino. But was it because Nile Rodgers was going to maybe produce an album for him, which that would have made a lot of sense back then. And oh, hang on, my headphones are gone. And so he was told to go to this office, and he went and knocked on the door of this office. This is at Michael's house, and just heard this weird kerfuffle sound. Okay, hello, and then and just waited and figured, well, there's obviously someone in there, so I guess just go. So he opened the door and he went in, and there was this it's a huge office, and it's just kind of empty. And there's this big desk in the middle. So he just goes and sits down in front of the desk, thinking maybe Michael's in the, bathroom or something. And he just waits and waits. So it becomes very apparent that there's someone under the desk in front of him. And it's just too but it's just too awkward. It's too he can't it's like, what am I gonna do? Hey Michael, you okay? With that. So he just sat there for a while thinking, well, maybe he's looking for something. I don't know, maybe yeah, I'll just give him a minute. And then it just became very apparent that he wasn't coming out. That he sort of just stayed. So Niall just got up and left. And he said, and then as he was walking out, he looked because it was like he had lovely big sculptured, landscape gardens or whatever. He looked out and he saw Michael sort of chasing one of his llamas or something up a hill. And that was it, nothing. Didn't say anything.
Like, not boring life. I see you had a lot of fun
Yes.
during recording sessions. You have done so much music and worked with so many different artists, but you also have been an actor and worked on TV and film soundtracks. Could you tell about this experience of yours more, please?
Okay. Well, I haven't really done much acting. I used to have a thing, yeah, because I had a period when I was doing music for TV, which I really, really liked, and it just stopped. I'm not quite sure why it did. And because I got nominated for awards and everything. And but yeah, but I had a thing that I call it Hitchcovian. You know how in all of Alfred Hitchcock's films he always appears. He has a tiny little part, and so I kind of I had a thing where anything I did the music for, I asked for what I call a Hitchcovian appearance, where so I'd just have a little part in it. Um, there was I had to have sex with the main character. In fact, in one of the things I did. In fact, my character was the only name he had was Pissed Crap Shag because it was just this drunken bloke. But apparently, my snoring was so good that they used my snoring for other characters during the rest of the series. So that was good. But yeah, I did more. Uh, I used to do a lot of I did stand up comedy and said, that's the thing I really liked doing, which is basically, just telling these stories. Well, obviously played much more for
Yeah.
laughs. And so I did that for about 15 years. I would have liked to have done more acting. I don't know that I'm necessarily that good at it. My dad was an actor, so there's that. And I would quite like to do more music for TV if anyone's listening. But I've got a feeling that that ship has sailed. It's such a competitive world, and there's so many cooler, younger people than me now. So
You also co-host a popular music podcast called Rock on Tours with Gary Camp, having
I
in-depth
do.
conversations with your guests talking about careers, music, and etc. Which episode of your podcast was the most special for you, and after which you felt really inspired?
Oh, that's a very good question, and there isn't one. There's loads. Because the thing I like because there's obvious ones. The ones when we finally got to talk to Pete Townsend and his wife. When I finally got to talk to David um, Gilmour.
Yeah.
There's been um, but then the great thing about Rock on Tours is we because we're musicians, because people talk to us in a way they wouldn't necessarily talk to other people. And we like that. What I like is that we always get something that that I've never heard before from somewhere. Even talking to Nick Mason, or we get stuff that we don't know. And but the thing I really like, the real surprises for me, the one I like, I prefer not prefer, but I really enjoy the not so obvious people, the not necessarily the big star. It's the people who are in the room.
Yeah.
People like
Yeah.
Tony King, who was Lennon's assistant and stuff like that. It's the people who are around, and what I also really like is the not obvious person from big bands. Like we spoke to Adam Clayton rather than Bono
Mhm.
from U2, and not that we had a choice, but no, but he was really lovely, and it's really nice to talk to. It's nice to talk to the people who don't necessarily always do the interviews. So and it is something we just really love doing. And yeah, and we love the fact that it's so popular. But so yeah, no, there isn't one. I mean, some of the I guess one of the most emotional ones was when we had Mick Fleetwood on, and it was so big, and he was, he teared up. He was talking about how he just wanted to get the band back together for one more time. And of course, when he said that, that would have still been possible. Now, of course, it isn't because Christina's gone. But so there's lots. There's too many moments. I never. It's like, what's your favorite
Yeah.
song?
No, but
But
still,
a good question.
I really also to our viewers, if you want, you can also find this podcast on YouTube, so you can also watch episodes. This podcast is really interesting, especially for those people who would like to watch interviews with other musicians. So, in April 2022, Pink Floyd has released a song, Hey Hey Rise Up. So, we have
Hmm.
already mentioned this song, where
Yeah.
you played bass and features vocals in Ukrainian were sung by Andriy Khlyvnyuk of the Ukrainian band Boombox. What was your reaction to recording this single, taking into account that Pink Floyd had been inactive for several years and Gilmour had said several times that the band would not reunite? And also, did you get the chance to know Andriy Khlyvnyuk personally?
Okay. Well, I loved it. I loved everything about it. Because I was at the time we were all absolutely shell shocked and horrified. Still are. By the invasion, and obviously there was a very personal angle for David because his daughter-in-law Yanina, who's married to his son Charlie, is half Ukrainian, and they'd literally been involved in getting her grandmother out of the country, which has been really horrific and trying. And it was, and yeah, it was on my son. It's very sweet. My son Stanley, who was Rick Wright's grandson, and it was on his birthday. I was up in Manchester. He was at university at the time. I was up in Manchester with his mum, Gala, having dinner with him, and just got this text from David going, "Are you around next few days? And do you know where Nick Mason is? I want to do something for Ukraine." I was like, "Oh my God." um, and I went round there, and yeah, because of course he'd worked with Andre, he'd played with him at this thing. I'm with a thing about for bands who are banned in Russia. He played with him back in 2015 at Coco's in London, so he knew him. But he just found this thing on YouTube, and he just seen this video of him
Mm-hmm.
singing
Yeah.
"The Red for Burnham," whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
If I said that right?
Yeah, so we basically say it in Ukrainian "Ой, лузі червона калина", but the translation is correct. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's no way I was going to say what you just said. And yeah, he had this great idea of playing. I was thinking actually because also because it's such a majestic, slow, sweeping song. All the other versions I've seen of it, I mean, you can do it. There's it's a straight folk thing. There's been great orchestral versions, quite operatic, but it's exactly the right sort of sweep and tempo for a Pink Floyd song. It totally lends itself to that because the only other way to do it would more of a kind of klezmer type thing. So that was great, and I was so pleased when Nick said he'd be up for it. Because yeah, because it's I'm it's obviously anything to do with Pink Floyd just opens such a can of worms. No, that's not Pink Floyd. Yeah, you're not. No, no, no. And to be realistic, it wasn't. This wasn't Pink Floyd reforming. There wasn't going to be a Pink Floyd again. It's not like this band was going to go out on tour or play. It's obviously that the point of this record was to raise awareness and more importantly to raise money for humanitarian causes in Ukraine. And obviously a David Gilmour record is going to do that pretty well. A Pink Floyd record, on the other hand, is going to, just because the sheer amount of attention that gets. And I'm all for using attention in that way. And like I said, what's funny and it was great getting Nitin Sawhney in to play keyboards. And I've joked with Nitin that the funny thing is that I've been around, David and Nick and the guys for 37 years, but I've actually been a member of Pink Floyd for just as long as Nitin Sawhney, which is a day. So yeah, what was so impressive was it happened so quickly. I got the text on March the 23rd. I went round to David's house 2 days later, and I put down a guide bass on it, um, and then it was like a week later, or less than a week, that we when that the video you see,
Yeah.
of us with the film playing over us and
Yeah.
the painting by that artist is that's the recording. That was us recording the song.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's it. That's us making the record. So it was all done, and then it came out like within a week of that. It was fantastically fast. I love that thing of the of which how if you really want something to happen, especially for a band like for since the term Pink Floyd, you kind of you're anything you assume is going to be years of kind of perfectionism and wrangling and and this just happened. But what, if you want to do it, you can do it. And so yeah, I was really really happy with it all around, and I hope it's done some good.
No, actually, that was fantastic. So I watched this music video also, and especially this song. I think it was at the beginning of the invasion of Russian invasion. It was like the song really um cheered us up, and it was like our feature song. So it's a big honor also for us to hear like Pink Floyd making
Mm-mm.
music to this song and performing, collaborating with Ukrainian singer, amazing singer. He is also, by the way, from my hometown.
Oh
So
well.
yeah, Andriy Khlyvnyuk from Cherkasy. So yeah, that was amazing, and I would really say thank you. I would love to say thank you and show my appreciation for the song. So thank you very much
Oh,
for
you're very
this.
welcome. And no, I'm honoured, and I'm really honoured to be a part of that. So,
And right now, I shall sing you a Ukrainian song, another Ukrainian song by a famous band, also Ukrainian band Okean Elzy, and it is called Na Nebi on Sky. So, one sec, I will take a lyrics a little bit. I will look into it. Там, де для когось тільки лютий за вікном, на моїй вулиці давно уже весна. І дух захоплює, немов від висоти, бо так живу, немов літаю я, так немов літаю я, кожну мить, коли зі мною ти. І я на небі, мила моя на небі, зоре моя на небі, відколи тебе знайшов. І я на небі, мов на земному небі, мила, коли з тобою літаю і знов, літаю і знов. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you. What is that? What is the title of that song in
It is
English?
called Na nebi. In English, it will be on the sky, at the sky. So it says basically it is a love song, so which makes a singer, a person who sings a song, love makes him like feeling like he is on the sky, like you know when you have this feeling that you can do everything. So this is basically the title and also the meaning of the song. So that is very
Lovely.
positive song. And once again, I'd really like to say thank you for making this interview with me today, for speaking with me today. I heard really a lot of interesting stories, and it was really nice talking to you like this. And I also hope that our Ukrainian viewers, international viewers, will also love this interview. And thank you very much again for this Ukrainian song, like for recording. And yeah, I wish you a nice day, and I hope that one day we will meet in person in America, Ukraine after the war, or in England. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Slava Ukraine.
Героям слава. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. All the best to you, Masha.